Zinnia, when you started preparation for UPSC?
Sir, I think it comes as a nudge from my parents since both of them are bureaucrats, civil servants. So innately it might have started as soon as I was born.
What something in the bureaucracy which has inspired you? It was a power or recognition or it is the social work?
Sir, so I wouldn't say it's all flurry in my case, that only service for the nation was the deal.
You have a startup? Or?
No, sir, it's not a startup. It is more of a not-for-profit organization. So
Okay.
we work with the UN and different governments across the world.
During preparation phase, there is a lot of diversion because there are
Yes.
so many notes, so many books, so many coaching institutes have delivered these study material. How you decided that I have to follow this, not that, because you felt this is the best? Was there any guidance from someone or you decided on your own?
I think, sir, no guidance per se on whatever I would find in terms of previous year questions. Yes, sir. So that was my template. Previous year questions in this attempt became my template.
Friends, we have Zinnia Aurora. She has secured All India rank 156 in Civil Services 2024. She has done her graduation from St. Stephen's in Economics and Political Science, and PSIR was her optional, and it was her second attempt. So, Zinnia, congratulations.
Thank you so
and
much,
welcome. Zinnia, when you started preparation for UPSC?
Sir, I think it comes as a nudge from my parents since both of them are bureaucrats, civil servants. So innately it might have started as soon as I was born. But actively I started somewhere around 2022 when it was my final year in college.
Okay. So you started with the NCRTs like everyone, or you had some different strategy?
No, sir. I think I still remember the very first book I had picked up was a history NCRT, because history is the one subject that was really something that I felt would be a bottleneck. So NCRTs was where I started, and then slowly current affairs started flowing in. And then my professor, he was a mentor perhaps. He diverted a lot of books related to civil servants or related to public policy and other things that used to come home thanks to my parents. So step by step, I think things started building up.
And NCRTs you recommend from class 6th onward or 9th to 12th?
I think so 9 to 12th adds that rigor, but if somebody is lacking the basic clarity of humanities, then 6th onwards is what is recommended.
Okay. And we are talking about the newspaper reading was one of your interest area.
Yes, sir.
So which newspaper you read and what was the takeaway from the newspaper?
Sir, I think the horizontal expansion and vertical intensification are two things that are very important for the exam. The newspaper adds to the horizontal expansion. So you get to know about what is happening. For example, in this year prelims, I remember there was a question on Argentina or Venezuela. That can only come when you read a lot. So I used to follow whatever newspaper was coming home, the Hindu, Indian Express, once or twice a week I would read both of them.
Okay.
And apart from them also, like any newspaper that was coming, kabhi my mom used to read out the Dainik Bhaskar to me, Dainik Jagran, because there used to be some news that wouldn't turn up anywhere else. So yes.
Okay. So having the bureaucratic parental background, how it helped you in preparation?
I think, sir, the very first milestone that you need to touch in the preparation, the very first step is to have an orientation about the practicality aspect of the examination. And I think a bureaucratic background where I've seen my parents go through all sorts of ebbs and lows, I've seen how they think. To think like a public servant is, I think, what my parents and my background has taught.
So what inspired you, the power or the what something in the bureaucracy which has inspired you? It was a power or recognition or it is the social work?
Sir, so I wouldn't say it's all flurry in my case, that only service for the nation was the deal. Definitely a mix of all three things that you said. But in my case, I think post-college, I have my own organization, PeaceX.
You have a startup or?
No, sir, it's not a startup. It is more of a not-for-profit organization. So
Okay.
we worked with the UN and different governments across the world.
That's great.
So social development, in a sense, was something I was passionate about since college, even before actually. And I thought that it is better channeled if you're working for Bharat, to take that vigor and passion and channelize it well the way my parents have. So that is why, sir, I think a mix
Was
of
there
all.
any discussion related to your NGO in interview?
Yes, sir. I was asked, so I had mentioned that I have done work in Haryana, Ghana, Haiti, and a few other countries.
Okay.
So they asked me, why did charity not begin at home? So apart from that, they asked me why it's called PeaceX, and certain orientation towards public hospitality, etc., sprung from that conversation.
And when did you start this charity work?
So it wasn't exactly charity. It is more of a voluntary service.
Okay.
We started it off in July of 2020.
Okay.
During COVID.
During
sir.
COVID.
Yes, sir.
Right. And that was the period when you was in college?
Yes, sir. Second year.
Second year. Good. So coming to the UPSC preparation phase, students face the problem of the either resources are too many because internet is flooded, or the resources are unidentified. For you, what was the challenge in preparation? Was it challenge like getting the right resource, or what is a challenge having too many resources and consolidating?
Sir, I think one thing that I would be criticized for perhaps is that I don't have notes for anything per se.
Oh.
So as I said, horizontal expansion was something I worked more
You never
on.
made notes?
No, I did make notes, but they're still not consolidated. This is
Okay.
not something I advise, but I did do something differently and more intensely, which was practice. My friends are to blame, not blame, now not blame. They are to be supported and congratulated for that. I would practice MCQs, and for mains, I was always writing answers. Even now, my friends, before the result came, they would ensure that I was also writing answers with them. So, and when it comes to sources and consolidation, I think I started off with the NCRTs, but with the newspaper, I started making notes online, and now I have 60-pager notes on every subject. So going over those again and again, I realized for mains at least, there are certain areas where you can focus better if you have differentiating notes. So people call them value add notes. So from newspapers, whatever I would pick up, I would put them in one place. And during those 3 months in mains, what I did was that I would streamline them per topic. Say for example, ethics may, if there is administrative law, if there is any case study related to AI, I would have certain points that perhaps very rarely 1 or 2% people would have, because I would have a very wide reading. And then I would be able to, bring that edge to my copy. But we'll know when the mark sheet comes. But yes, sir.
Right. During preparation phase, there is a lot of diversion because there are so many notes, so many books, so many coaching institutes have delivered these study material. How you decided that I have to follow this, not that, because you felt this is the best? Was there any guidance from someone, or you decided on your own?
I think, sir, no guidance per se. Whatever I would find very factually intensive, whatever I would find in terms of previous year questions, yes, sir. So that was my template. Previous year questions in this attempt became my template. I ensured that whatever is something that will definitely be a low-hanging fruit. And if any particular academy or coaching material or anything on Telegram is, really addressing the core of the question and is helping me imagine it, visualize it, I would go for that. And if I found too many materials, then my mom would, again, big pillar, she would very happily take the job of going through them and telling me that, beta, you can go through this or that.
Okay, so you mentioned about the Telegram and YouTube. These are the two sources which many aspirants, they adopt.
Yes, sir.
But at the same time, presence in the social media has a lot of the distraction.
Definitely.
So what you followed, you made a balance between the presence in social platforms and preparation, or you focused only for preparation and stopped the other channels?
Sir, so I dropped YouTube from my phone 2 years ago.
YouTube?
Yes,
no
sir.
videos you have seen?
No, I used to open them once or twice a month on my laptop.
Okay.
YouTube was a big distraction before that for me during college as well. So I knew that is the one bottleneck we need to throw away. Telegram, I realized that within the first 2-3 months that it had become a very major source of distraction for me. So I limited it to only groups related to study materials and friends who were helping me out. That's it.
Right.
So I put a cap on that as well. I remember December 23 is when I did that. Apart from that, I'm on no social media except LinkedIn, that too because of my job and because of my organization. So no social media.
This is what I have come to know from many civil servants selected recently, that they are making self-regulation, and they are restricting and refraining themselves from the social presence. But many aspirants who are preparing and they are on a screen, if you see, they are live for 10 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours in a day, and unwantedly a lot of the time is wasted. So this is one thing where the discipline is required. And coming to the sources of a study for the mains examination, because that is the pillar. One is essay and then GS paper 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what sources you followed?
So for mains, GS 1, 2 and 3, my friends really helped out there. So they already had some notes. Some of them had appeared for mains before. GS2 was easy for me because comparatively easy because I had PSIR as my optional. In terms of notes, I think, sir, I am more of a person who would search something online. And whether it's from academies, I would write it and then write UPSC next to it and things would come. I would pick from any coaching material and then take it and then move forward with it. And apart from that, I would always ensure that there is some news related to it, etc. Again, that edge that you need to add to your answer, I would address that. And then GS4, I took classes from one academy. I did not follow them that rigorously. I attended half the course. But ethics, again, something I think that you need to personalize. So essay and ethics, I have only one document for both of them. So that went hand in hand. Again, these are very personal things I've picked up from my book, from books I've read, or from Kurukshetra, Yojana, or from The Economist, etc. Whatever you keep reading. So those were the things, sir.
Your optional is PSIR.
Yes.
And many aspirants, even those who are not from political science background, they also opt for the political science. So what is your experience about this subject? Is it good for those who are not from this background? Because you are from the same background.
Yes, sir. Partially, yes.
Partially.
So I think it's a very dynamic subject, sir. And polity, which is a major chunk of it, and IR, are both very significant for any civil servant and any aspirant in general and a citizen in itself.
Right.
So you mostly, why I think people go for it is because they find it very passionate, it's happening around you and you know mostly about it. Second, it adds to your awareness. And third, it's comparatively easier because even if, an erring or aberrative question is to appear, more or less, most people won't know it, even those from the background itself. And see, the scholars that you read, sir, I personally found that you can, it is interoperable in the sense ethics, essay, and a lot of other papers, GS2 itself. So there's a lot of coverage that way. You add edge to more papers. And again, it gives you a policy orientation because there are some, you read about ethnicity, minorities. So it brings a lot of worlds in one place. There's public economy, there's political economy, there's governance, as I mentioned, there's comparative politics, etc. And then the global perspective you anyway need to make a good citizen and a civil servant. So I think that is why maybe the popularity is going up regardless of the marks. I think if you're passionate about it, again, the mark sheet will reflect, but if you're passionate about it, you'll complete the syllabus, you'll enjoy reading it. And
how much this subject is relevant for the essay and in general studies paper 2?
So very highly relevant. GS2, I haven't read GS2 separately except certain components of it, perhaps governance, etc. So that way, big help because you're targeting two things with just one arrow. Yes, sir. I think.
Good. And when you appeared for the interview this time,
yes, sir.
What you found that your interview was smooth, or you had some different experience which was different than the mock experiences?
Sir, I wouldn't call it different. The questions, not a single question was repeated from any of the mocks. But I think what mocks did for me was ensure that in that moment, I'm able to summon all my power and A, keep my confidence, B, get that knowledge out in a structured manner. I don't know how the interview went, the mark sheet isn't out, but the mocks really help you assemble yourself as not just an aspirant, but also as somebody who is about to edge towards the other side of the line. So I think that way mocks really helped, sir. So I remember my conversation with Basi sir. I met with him twice. In fact, I was very grateful that he called me the second time also. The orientation that certain people give you in terms of the guidance that they have, in terms of the general orientation and aura that they carry, I think when somebody is about to appear for a civil services interview, that aura that really impacts you, and you want to achieve that in even partially if possible, for 1% also, if I'm able to inch towards it. I think there are certain guiding lights during the interview preparation that mocks provide you, especially the bureaucratic mocks. So.
All right. So, Zinnia, just 30 days are left for the prelims 2025.
Yes, sir.
And at this stage, many aspirants, they start feeling low.
Yes, I've been there.
The fear of failure and then the nervousness, both start and anxiety begins.
Yes, sir.
So, what suggestions you would like to give and tips for the aspirants who are appearing in 2025?
I think, sir, again, speaking from my own experience, the last 30 days are very crucial. A negative mindset can really tear you apart. I did have that for the longest period of time. Secondly, I think previous year questions are very crucial. Thirdly, keep on practicing, because I think once you're in that rut, that knowledge gap can be covered, yes, but I think that logic and that operational understanding of how it's going to go that day is very important. So keeping yourself in loop with how that day is going to go is very important. In North India, it's very hot. So for me, that became a very major problem.
So this acclimatization,
yes, sir.
Because most of the time we are in AC, we are in cool climate, but once you write the test, in
that
UPSC
loo really takes it out of you, and already you've been drained. And then CSAT is very important. For going for that second paper after going through so much, and keeping aside your performance in the first paper is very, very crucial. And then that is why I think, sir, I attempted around 5 to 6 open mock simulations. I also attended Anubhav. So that really helps to get that, you see thousands of people pouring
into. You opted for the center in the school, or you opted in the classroom?
No, sir. It was in a school. I think it was in Karol Bagh itself.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that gives you some sort of the similar environment which you will face in the exam.
And sir, I'm a very competitive person. So when I saw thousands of people pouring into that school, I realized, okay, now we need to really push forward, because that is the amount of people that you're going to stand against.
Dear friends, this Anubhav she is talking about, the last Anubhav for 2025 is scheduled on 4th of May at next IAS. So those who are writing Civil Service 2025 exam, they can appear in the Anubhav and can have the experience of the real-time environment which you might face similar in the examination. So, and coming back to the PYQs, because there are two approaches to solve PYQ. One is the year-wise, like 2024 paper, 23 paper, 22 paper. Other is you go subject-wise. What you preferred and what you suggest?
Sir, so last year I had taken previous year question classes.
Okay.
That went thematically, so subject-wise.
Subject-wise.
But after I had gone through the entire class ka paraphernalia, I still did not feel complete in myself for some reason. So I picked up from ORN itself 2013 onwards all question papers, and then I would sit with a friend every single day for 3-4 hours, and we'd solve 2 papers and we'd discuss it. So we went year-wise also, and then thematically also I had covered it in one of the classes.
So every question on tips, twice you have done?
I can't say that, sir, because I don't think I assembled it properly, but I tried my level best to ensure that nothing goes wrong in so far as the previous year questions go.
And how many tests you appeared? Approximate for prelims? Practice?
Never counted, but probably 30.
If it is a countless, that means number is more.
No, sir. But sometimes I would just attempt 50 questions. Sometimes my friends would send across 10 questions. So essay kept on me, but maybe like 20 to 30 perhaps.
So thank you, Zinnia, and it's a great talking to you. Dear friends, this was the discussion with the Zinnia Aurora, CSE code All India rank 156, as I told in the beginning. And if you have any query for the upcoming videos, please do submit in the comment box. And आपके कोई suggestions हो, कोई observations हो, findings हो, या expectations हो, please do mention in the comment box. And if you want any support from us, from Next IAS, please do reach out to us. We are always there to help you. And once again, congratulations.
Thank you
and
so
thank
much,
you for
sir.
coming. And Jai Hind.